Hey y'all, this is Robin, and this is Finish It Friday. Looky, looky. I bet you never thought you'd see this, right? Look. Okay, it's not actually finished. I'm working on the border, but look at that. The main part is done. Let's talk. Okay. Actually, we're going to set it aside because I want to talk about a couple other things first. It's been busy. Last weekend was craft fair, so I got craft fair videos. It's not out yet. I didn't even finish it yet. I got most of it done. I've got the tiny little bit of telling you. I did the pre-show stuff. I still have to finish the part where I say how it ended up. I got to finish that part still. Did pretty good. Did better than I expected. I've got one more craft show and then we're done for the season. And I've been having conversations with my partner, my booth partner. And, you know, a couple weeks ago, it was, no, we're done. We're never doing this again. And now that we're kind of getting the bugs worked out of it and trying to figure out things, we're kind of half thinking maybe we will do some spring shows. For one thing, the spring shows are only one day. And that's a lot easier on a body than all weekend long, because it's set up Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Even though all summer I complained about all the work involved to set up for one day. So yeah, you can't please me. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So after we did the show, I had a couple of days. I had kind of a nice and easier week. And so I got some things done. I had promised some things for my grandson. Had some dental issues, nothing new in my world. But it was kind of a quiet week for me, so I've had a chance to recuperate. I've worked on some projects, got to do some fun crochet, and I think that's part of the reason that got some problems figured out on this thing, because I have been so tired. Every time I go to work on this, I'm just up against the wall. And so I got to step back a little bit and do some stuff on it when I was rested, and that made a big difference. So, but I did want to talk about a project. So one of the things that I have been wanting to do, and I also took a beading class because I've been wanting to make some beaded earrings. And I was going to bring that and show you guys because it's really going well. I'm very excited about it. But I decided to wait because I don't even have one earring finished yet. And so I decided to wait until I've got one full earring finished because it's really pretty and it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pleased with it. So next week I should have an earring finished for you. I'm stuck. And I know I'm stuck and I need help on this step that I'm on. So once I get that figured out, I'll be able to do that. I'll show you that on the next one. So anyway, I had time to try something that I have been wanting to do for a long, long time. So I bought these patterns for something to make on my Addy, and I bought them on from Etsy, and I don't like buying patterns from Etsy. Not that I have a problem with people selling things on Etsy, that's no problem. I will buy the patterns till the cows come home. The problem is getting them printed off of Etsy. It doesn't work well when you buy patterns from your phone. And I finally, Miss Dana finally said, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and go onto your computer and do that. Well, I knew that's what I was going to have to do, and I don't like it because now they're stored on my computer and it's not easy for me to access them, but I did. So I did that and I printed them off And what they are is, so, you know, when I'm using my Addy to make a hat, you have a basic stocking cap. Beautiful. You can do colors, you can do color combinations, but it's a basic stocking cap, and they're fine. Well, this allows you to make designs as if, well, they're knit into the stocking cap, like if you were doing, I don't want to say the word right, intarsia. I don't know if that's right, but you're carrying the yarn, you know, like the ones where you're carrying the yarn with you. So I only printed 2 of them. I bought 5 or 6, but I only printed 2 off. And I print off one that I thought would be an easy design, just a snowflake on a solid color background. And the other one, I thought this was so cute. It's a puppy dog. Now, I have also bought a Grinch, and I bought a Snoopy dog, and I don't even remember the other ones that I bought. I bought 5 or 6 that I thought would be fun. Easy, I don't know if easy is the right word. I don't even know if I could, I don't even know if I can get to. I have such a hard time accessing patterns that I have purchased from Etsy. So much so that half the time, okay, here we go. Half the time, if I have purchases, if I want to buy something, I go and see if they're on Ravelry. So I've got, oh, and I bought a sloth and a cat and a gnome. And she's got a bunch more. And I really, really have wanted to figure this out. So the other night, I was at home. I didn't have anything that I felt was like pressing that I had to get done. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try one of these. I'm going to try one of these. And there's a very little, the instructions are pretty limited. It's basically a graph. It's a line by line graph. And it's like, okay, I can follow a graph. Well, and then it's not even a graph. It's like, change this color, change that color, change this color, change that color, change that. Okay, great, not a problem. She tells you what kind of yarn she used. Big twist, no problem. My machine likes big twists, so that's good. And then she says, to see how color changes are done, here's a YouTube video. Okay, I'm gonna go watch the YouTube video. There's not much to it. There's only a couple, I mean, it's a couple of minutes long, 5 minutes maybe. All right. She's got a couple of pictures, and it says, this is what your project's gonna look like while it's in the machine. So you know it's gonna be a mess. This is what you're expected to look like. Okay. Okay. So, okay, we can do this. We could not do this. I spent 6 hours. I thought to myself, I'm going to make this one first. I'm only dealing with one color. This looks like a pretty darn easy pattern. I went through this entire pattern 4 times. I went line by line, the entire pattern. I didn't do the entire hat where you would get through, get through this and then just go back to the solid part and just do, 120 or however many rows. I just did the pattern and then about 10 rows after it. It dropped stitches and dropped stitches and dropped stitches, and it would be just runs and runs and runs, and then I would take the thing off and disassemble it and start over again. Well, when you disassemble it, every time you change the color to the white, you have cut that stitch. You've cut it, the yarn. So well, you don't have that yarn to use anymore, and you can't just reuse the green. I just used green. You can't reuse, you can reuse some of it, and that's not the problem. It was the dropping of the stitch, and it's not just one stitch, it's almost everywhere where I had changed the color. And okay, so we're just going to throw that away, just cut it, pull off what I can use, the 8 or 10 rows at the end, and roll it up and start over. Okay. And you're leaning over the machine, and every time you change color, and I mean, on some of these, it's 2 stitches change color, 1 stitch change color, 1 stitch change color, 1 stitch change color, 3 stitches change color, 1 stitch change color, 1 stitch change color. Every time you change color, you're leaning over the machine and you're tying a knot on both sides, because you got knot here and knot here, and then cut it and change color, knot here, knot here. And I'm leaning over the machine and I'm doing this, and oh my God, my neck and my shoulders and my back. I did that for 5 hours. For 5 hours. And then it would drop and it would just run all the way down. And then I'm leaning over trying to, because you use a crochet hook, and then you try to pick those stitches up and get it back on the machine. And I'm not great at getting it back on the machine right. And then I would go to, and the whole thing would just disintegrate. And I did that 4 complete times through this pattern. And poor mister's trying to help me. And I'm just screaming at him, don't talk to me. You don't know what the problem is, so don't try to help me. And so then I'm like, okay, you know how it is with the Addy. Sometimes it just hates the yarn. For no reason whatsoever, it just hates the yarn. So I'm just throwing this stuff in the garbage, and I got a different yarn, different color yarn, because who knows, the Addy just doesn't want to make a green hat today. So I got out this other yarn. So you can see, it did a perfectly fine the job where you weren't changing the colors. But where it changed the colors, it just hated it. It just hated it. And it's just making this huge, ugly mess of it. And, well, the inside we knew it was going to look like a nightmare, so that's not the problem. But everywhere that it changes the color, it's just dropping the stitch. Every single time I'm changing the color, it just drops the stitch. So obviously I'm doing something terribly, horribly wrong. It's 100% me. This one wasn't as bad, because what I did was, instead of cutting the white on every stitch, it was like I carried it like I was doing in Tarsa. I would start with the white here, because you're only doing it from here to here, and the rest is regular. So I would start with my white, and then I would carry my white over to this side, and then I would cut it and tie it off. I thought, okay, so now I'm not cutting the yarn so many times. Maybe it won't drop it so many times. It still did. And I believe, well, you can see right here. Every time I change the color, the stitches are so loose and awful. I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to do it. So I did this color twice, 2 complete times. 6 hours I messed with this. Because I really, and Mister's like, why don't you just quit? And I said, because I think these are adorable. And I could I could overstitch it. I could just use the pattern and just, I could overstitch it, but I don't want it to get the best of me. And I think they're adorable. And there's so many cute patterns. Honest to God, I could knit it faster than what this took. People do, I don't know, maybe people don't do it. Maybe the only person on the face of the earth that can do this is the lady that wrote the pattern. Oh, there's one good stitch. Look. There's one good stitch right there. Right there. There's one good stitch. What do you think? Should I give up? Is there a way to do this? Is there anybody out there who actually uses a knitting machine, who knows how to do color changes? Can you understand my frustration? I want to figure this out. I really do. I think these are going to be absolutely precious. And I searched the YouTube world and I could not find one other video that showed it. And her video wasn't very good because it was a top down and all you could see was she said, okay, tie a knot, tie a knot, tie a knot. Well, I'm tying the knot. I tie the knot on every single strand. And it says here, each color change should be tied right away and not gone back to when finished. Okay, I did that. Once you add the new color that you are changing to, crank the machine so it grabs the stitch. I did that. And then tie it. I did that. Do not cut the color change yarn until the end. Yeah. So I would put it on there, pull it around so it's made the stitch, and then I tie it, and then I cut it. So maybe I need to watch about a dozen videos on changing color. That's the only thing I can think of. Here's the other thing, and I thought about this last night. Tell me what you think. So I did this one first thinking there's only one color to mess with, and that's going to make it easier. Now, having looked at this pattern, maybe it would be easier because while there's a couple of extra colors, there's not as many color changes. See what I mean? With the snowflake, you're changing color almost every other stitch. But with the puppy, you go a lot longer runs without changing colors. I think that might help, actually. I really do. I was looking at that, and I really think that might help. Because I want to figure this out. I want to figure this out. Okay, so that's my rant. That's my rant on that. Tell me your guys' thoughts on that. If anybody out there has done this and has any tips, please let me know. Yeah, because okay, now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. When we last spoke, I was tearing my hair out on this. And I still see a mistake, but not nearly where I was before. All right, where I was before, I was ready to pull out this, I don't even know what they call it, this kind of star stitch looking thing, spike stitch. They're calling it the spike stitch. And I did. I pulled out the whole thing down to the pink, because that's where the spiky part starts. And I re-looked at my pattern And I pulled up her video because I had not pulled up her video yet, because her videos are usually so bad they don't do me any good. But I pulled up the video on this one and it was actually halfway decent. And so I'm looking at the video and I'm like, she is absolutely doing more than 2 steps like the instructions say. So I looked at my instructions again. Do you know what I did? I was missing a page on my instructions. And that's why it only showed 2 steps. So when I found the other page to my instructions and I looked at her video, I could see the rest of the steps. And so when I picked it up to work on it again, I was not doing it at 10 o'clock at night. I had all the instructions. It still wasn't amazing, but it was much better. And I still see I made a couple of mistakes, because when I just now picked it up, I saw a mistake. There was one where I missed, but here we go again. Oh yeah, right here. Right there. I missed a point on that one. I missed a point right there. Are we going to worry about that? No, we are not. We are not going to worry about that. The white ones look really good. All the white ones look really good. So, we have finished all 30 stripes. We are working on the border. I am making the border bigger than what they say, because I, again, am not thrilled with the width of it. So I'm, at this point, this is all the wider that they say to do the border. I'm going to do it at least this wide, just to give it some, to make it bigger. I wanted to show you something. Now I'm using Red Heart. Again, Red Heart Super Saver, because I started this when I was in Pecos, Texas, where there are no options for buying yarn except the local Walmart, and this is what they have. So, as you know, Super Saver Red Heart yarn is supposed to be no dye lot yarn, and you are not supposed to have to worry about the dye lot. Well, guess what? When I picked up this, and this green is called Sage, and I really like this Sage, and I went all the way around on this first row, and I had started the second row, and I got about, this far on the second row, and I grabbed a new skein. Can you all see the difference in that color on that no dye lot? Yeah, this was much darker than that. I don't know how well it shows up on there, but I think you can definitely see the difference. And in person, you could really see the difference. So I pulled it out. Luckily, it wasn't much, but there was definitely a difference in that no dye lot yarn. You can definitely see it. And I've had that happen before. I had, and it was a white, and it was, and I was in the middle, and it was a pure white blanket. And I had done, and I don't know why I didn't notice it. I was in the car and I was driving across state, and I had gotten about this much done, and I went like this to look at something, and I'm like, it was way different, way different. So, and I see right now, I didn't realize until just when I was packing this stuff up to bring it to work with me, I'm almost out of this one, and this is my next one. So I was really looking at it, but I think it's pretty much identical. So even on the no dye lot stuff, you gotta be careful. So anywho, she's gonna be done. I'm thinking this week. I haven't looked at my calendar yet this week, but barring whatever, I was thinking 3 rows of pink, and then I still want to do, remember I talked about these hearts? if I can make it work, I want to do a row of these hearts right there for the outside. I just think that'll look so pretty. And I hope they'll stand up without a border. I think they will. I think they will. But that's my plan for right now. So I'm going to do 3 rows of the pink. So that'll make it, no, 2 more. So I'll make it this much bigger, and then that heart. Yeah, I think that's about how big it'll be. By the next Finish It Friday, I think this will be done. Give or take. I do. I think it'll be done. That would be nice. That would be nice. So that means I'm meeting that deadline, which is basically Christmas. And we have the date of that party, so it's mid-December. So this will be done. I'll have time to block it and get her wrapped. And I'm going to make her, who am I kidding? I was going to say I might make her just a little, just a little ornament to put on the package. That would be fun, but I probably won't. But I'm gonna give her this, and then I got a little necklace, and I'll probably get her a bottle of wine for her. She likes wine, and that'll be her whole Christmas present. So that's that, and this is the only crochet Christmas present I'm planning on this year. Everything else, because I am not putting myself in that time frame. I want to make a couple of washcloths, but simple, easy peasy. So that's it for Christmas presents that I'm making, that I'm aware of. Unless I get silly and no, I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Christmas is a month away. And anything that I think that I would do, I'd have to literally get started. So no, not doing it. And I still have one more craft show that I want to make. I want to make a turtle. I want to make a turtle for that craft show. And when I woke up this morning, my wrist hurt so bad I could not even turn it. It's feeling a little better now. I rubbed some cream on it, but I don't want to push it. I do not want to push it. So that's it for Finish It Friday. I've got this monstrosity. And real happy with this. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I figured that out. Thank you guys for all your kind words after last time, because I was so sad. I was so sad. Yeah. But it came together, and once again, and you guys, almost always, and that's why, and I need to apologize, because almost always when there's a problem with something, it's me. It is me. I'm the one who can't figure something out, who's doing something wrong, and I need help. So it's almost always some silly thing that I have done. And that's why I try very hard not to be negative in my videos and not to badmouth something or a pattern or a product, because most of the time it's me. And I take full blame. But boy, I have struggled with this thing, and I'm not the only one. I truly believe that they could have done a better job in the instructions and in the videos. And even though most of the problems have been me, I think the instructions could have been better. Now, having lost a page of the instructions is 100% my fault. But even if at the bottom of the page it would have said continued, that would have helped. Then I would have known. there was another page. But anyway, my fault, my bad, and it's fixed and it's done. And I only have just a few. See, I just found that. I thought I was done with ends. Never done with ends. And oh yeah, when it says on the side to tuck in your ends as you go, I spent a whole evening doing ends. Would have been nice if they were done as I went, but I'm not that kind of girl. And honestly, I was so frustrated with this thing. An evening of just doing ends was kind of nice. So anyway, that's it for this week. I hope that you will like and subscribe. I am I'm working diligently to get to the 2,000. I've got a big giveaway coming at 2,000 subscribers. I hope you guys will help me get to there. Please don't forget to join us for Monday Night Bingo, where we have lots of prizes. And we will see you later. Bye-bye.